Welcome to my allotment diary in East Sussex. It's rained every day this week, barring today, and today's not looking all that much bright. But so what have I been doing? Well, I've been visiting the allotment on a daily basis and everything's okay. It's still wet and soggy, and I've been again reading a lot, watching television. I've also continued to practice with making my videos. There's not much going on in here, so I'm going home where it's nice and warm and out of the wind. Well, I'm back home now. Got to tell you that I'm suffering from a very bad cold and I'm feeling a bit miserable. I don't feel like going out at all, and it's nice being in the warmth. I got some great comments on last week's upload. The comments regarding to the climate change, they were very quick and very fast, and a lot of people had views on them, or they expressed that they don't like to give their views on them, and a few people mentioned about the A and the B roll, and I'm going to concentrate on the A and B roll at the moment because I'm still on a learning curve and I've still got to go through it. So at the moment I'm looking at the PC for Movie Maker, which is sort of equivalent to the iMovie, and there's a lot of similarities in them, but there we go. I'll catch you later. We'll get on to working the A roll and the B roll. Catch you later. Scene 4, take 1. Right, that's a screenshot of Movie Maker taken, which is for my video for this week. So let's get back onto this A roll and B roll. Now the A roll is the story, and the best way to tell a story is just to sit here and tell the story. Now I've got some notes, or should I say bullet points. Right, so when you open up iMovie for the first time, it's quite sparse. Scene 4, take 2. Well, this is what happens when you take videos. You get it wrong. The first take 1, I overran the 5 minutes. It's easily done. You just haven't got to do it. So what I'm going to do this time is I'll edit that from the front bit and I'll read what I really want to say from the notes. And of course, you won't see me on the video doing this because I will have supervised. Just hang on, I've got this cold coming on. When you open iMovie, this is what you first see. Open iMovie, this is what you first see. Quite sparse. No indication of an A roll or B roll. There is instructions to import files. There is instruction to drag and drop files onto the timeline. It doesn't identify those squares as a timeline, and there is a small music icon bottom left, which you assume is where the music files go, but this is in actual fact the sound line. To look at the same clip for 23.28 seconds is boring. It turns viewers off. You may recall last week in that episode, David asked me about the Ken Burns effect. It was something he particularly wanted to learn how to do. Well, transitions aren't favoured by professional video makers, but they do accept that the Ken Burns effect is a good method of relieving boredom within, or creating interest within a video. And I'll demonstrate that now, that effect. When you open iMovie, this is what you first see. Quite sparse. No indication of an A roll or B roll. There is instructions to import files. There is instruction to drag and drop files onto the timeline.
it doesn't identify those squares as a timeline, and there is a small music icon bottom left which you assume is where the music files go, but this is in actual fact the sound line. This is where the clips go. In my case, the clips are no longer than 5 minutes. This window shows what is the scene that will show on the computer and the final film. And this is the edited clip, which I try and edit to say 7 seconds. Here we have the A roll with a speech underneath.
Scene 5, Shot 1. Let's tell a story. You can sit. Are you all sitting comfortably? Then I will begin. Once upon a time, there was a blue barrel. And the blue barrel sat in an allotment in East Sussex. He was not a happy barrel. In fact, he felt blue. Not only did he feel blue, he was blue. And he didn't want to be blue. No. I will cut the film at this point, with the risk of going on would bore you to death. What we do now is add the B-roll to this clip. B-roll is now added, and we press the start button and the video now plays. Once upon a time, there was a blue barrel. And the blue barrel sat in an allotment in East Sussex. He was not a happy barrel. In fact, he felt blue. Not only did he feel blue, he was blue. And he didn't want to be blue. No. And one day, a bench goblin came along. He came down to the barrel with his bucket and he said, "Hello, blue barrel. How are you?" "I'm all right," said the blue barrel. "What is wrong with you?" "Oh, I feel so blue." "Well, what colour would you like to be?" "I'd like to be green." "Oh, well, I can help you there," he said. "All you have to do is on Thursday is go to the village hall, put your cross on a ballot paper against green, and you, yes you, will become green." "Oh," says the barrel, "I've always wanted to be green." And off the bench goblin went and left the blue barrel feeling very pleased with himself. And on the following Thursday, which was voting day, he went to the village hall and he put his cross on the paper and he put it against green. Next day, he looked at himself in the reflection in the water and he was still blue. And along came the bench goblin and he says, "Good morning, blue barrel, how are you?" He says, "You promised me that I could be green." He says, "Well, I did, but I'm not." "I know," says the bench goblin. "I lied." And that ends the story. There is a moral to this story. No, there is no moral to this story, because this story has no morals. And that is the end. Now, come on you. Off to bed. Sleep tight. here's the conclusions. iMovie isn't as sparse as what I made out at the beginning. When you get into it, you find that it's all there. You just have to do it. And doing the A roll and the B roll and doing the A and the B roll is quite easy. You just do it. You just stick to the convention. And it's just like doing the washing. Not that I do a lot of it, but we hang out the sheets first on one line, but the sounds with it, which is the small, so we take them off. And then we put back the sound, the recorded sound, and knit it together. And we put that on a separate line, onto the sound line. And then we do the B-roll, which is really the colours, and they go on another line above it. So it's B-roll, A-roll, sound. And it makes it so quick. I didn't realise just how quick it would be. I've been doing B-rolls and doing it like a jigsaw, trying to get the time and getting the sync right, and it does it automatic. You just get that A-roll out with all your speech in, and then you overlay your B-rolls and you put the washing or the B-roll clip exactly where you want it. You take it off what you've imported, you guess what 6 seconds is. You position it down on the above the A roll. You can see the sound underneath where you've mentioned, like when I mentioned the village hall. So I could see that sound bit. You just put it there. You might have to then stretch it or condense it just a little bit, but you're not cutting, and it has no effect at all on the speech that you made within there. And the speech within your cutting stays, or your sound in the cutting stays as it is. So there we go. I've put a few screenshots of other programs, and you can see that I don't know whether they're more complicated or not, but there's more there. But in the iMovie, you've got more space. But generally speaking, you can work it out. Well, that's it for this week. Hope you enjoyed it and that. I'd still like some comments though, but it's what I've been doing. I've been practicing and learning how to use my camera and recording and editing. So catch you later. Hope we'll be back to a normal video next week. Bye.